Good evening. Let me shout out Happy Thanksgiving right at the top of the show. It's a great American holiday. We're going to discuss later in the show why we must not let the woke progressives demean or destroy both the holiday and the meaning of this great holiday. So much of it should be about gratitude and abundance, for we have been endowed by our Creator with the greatest country in the history of history. So we'll get to that later in the show. Now, for me, the biggest story today is a series of almost unbelievable, massive blowout economic releases. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, it's such a big story, I rate this a 3-gobble story. Gobble, gobble, gobble. First, the lowest number of unemployment claims, declining to just 199,000, the lowest since 1969. One leading Wall Street firm called it a game changer. Also, continuing unemployment claims for all programs, including pandemic emergency programs, has collapsed. In fact, basically, since the federal plus-up benefits ran out in early September, nearly 9 million people have stopped receiving unemployment benefits, and this will translate into a very big job numbers in the months ahead. Just as we've had the last couple of months, it's coming in the future. And if we quit paying people to stay home, well, guess what? They'll go back to work. It's the American way. Now, wage rates are strong, and they are work-inducing. In fact, there's virtually no more layoffs in the American economy. And on top of that, we had a huge consumer spending number. Real personal consumer spending now up nearly 7% over the past 12 months, and nominal spending, that's pre-inflation, up an incredible 12%. What's more, wages and salary income up nearly 10% over the past year. And the Fed's inflation target, which is called the PCE deflator, well, that jumped 0.6 in October and is now 5% above a year ago. Not good. The Atlanta Fed's GDP now was revised up today to 8.6% for the fourth quarter ending in December. And if we extrapolate 5% inflation, which may well be higher in November and December, I'm telling you, nominal GDP could be up 15 or 16% in that quarter. You may recall I first started talking about this blowout a couple of weeks ago when we saw soaring retail sales. But there's still more in today's numbers. A revised GDP report for the last quarter now shows a massive increase in profits. Overall profits up 21% in the past year, and what we call core profits, domestic non-financial profits, those are up 25% over the past 4 quarters. Now, of course, profits are the mother's milk of stocks. They're the lifeblood of the economy. Left-wing progressives hate profits, but you can't have more jobs at higher wages unless businesses are generating strong profits. The trouble with progressives is they love employment. They just don't like employers. It's like my dear friend and mentor, the late Jack Kemp, who used to argue you can't have capitalism without capital. And of course, not only is Uncle Joe Biden slamming businesses left and right, attacking something called excess profits, now he's blaming businesses for higher gasoline prices and inflation overall. Nearly all of his reckless tax hikes are aimed at destroying capital and profits and investment, and therefore jobs, wages, and average family incomes will be damaged. But whatever Joe Biden says, profits are booming. The economy is strong. Regrettably, inflation continues to rise. And that's why I call these numbers a blowout. And let me just add this point. Economic growth by itself does not cause inflation. More people successfully working does not cause inflation. The fundamental cause of inflation is when the Federal Reserve creates too much money chasing too few goods. And the Fed keeps pouring new money into the economy. And so we devalue the money in your wallets and pocketbooks. Now, even though the economy doesn't really need it or want it, Biden policy has a $5 trillion budget spending, which is being financed by our central bank. For example, there's a 13% increase in M2 on a yearly basis, a 12% jump in U.S. bank deposits. Therefore, they continue to create money and inflation that people do not want. And then, of course, the Biden tax hikes are damaging growth incentives to invest and work, thereby shrinking the supply side of the economy. That's why we have too much demand, too much money behind that demand. And we will have too few goods. Now is not the moment on the supply side damage. But if the bankrupt benefits and bureaucracy bill passes, big government socialism, as we say, that will be the story. Right now, we're in a boom. Rising profits, unemployment falling, zero interest rate, free money. But I fear that unless the $5 trillion budget is paused for at least another year or more, and unless the Fed wakes up and starts fighting inflation instead of climate change or other wokeisms, this story is not going to end well. Now, please, don't get me wrong. I love prosperity. I love abundance. In fact, years ago, I wrote a book called American Abundance. But in order to maximize growth, we have to minimize government. The Biden gang does not understand this, and that's our challenge on Thanksgiving Eve. So, of course, save America, kill the bill. Gobble, gobble, gobble. And that's my riff.